The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series season is officially here, and all teams are going to be heading out to the Bowman Gray Stadium for the Clash, a non-points paying race. The last couple of years, NASCAR has been heading out west to the LA Coliseum for the Clash, and in years prior, the Daytona Road Course and the Daytona traditional oval layout. It's been at many different locations within recent time, and I believe they hit it home right here with a really good track in Bowman Gray Stadium, and it's going to be a good one. But today I'm here to give y'all my full-on predictions for it, my top 5, my dark horse, track layout, you name it. There's going to be a lot to talk about here, so enough said here, and on to the intro we go. Alrighty here. I believe Bowman Gray Stadium is going to be very similar, if you will, in a way to Martinsville and a little bit of the LA Coliseum from last year, but I don't think the cars are going to be going as slow. But I believe the teams to keep an eye out for are obviously going to be your powerhouses, Joe Gibbs Racing and Hendrick Motorsports, and maybe 2311 Racing. But saying that, I do believe that a Joe Gibbs driver does go to victory lane after all. And it's going to be Chase Briscoe in his first ever start with the team in a 19 car. Last couple of years, he's been in the Cup Series since 2021. Racing the 14 car, has picked up 2 wins along the way. Career win number 1 out in Phoenix in 22. And Darlington this past September. And he's moving over to this team where there's a lot of winning tradition here. And there was at Stewart-Haas Racing, but when Briscoe was there, they weren't really going to victory lane often. He was actually one of the higher percentage winning drivers at the team within his time there. And that just says a lot about the team and how good of a driver Briscoe it really is. Because, let's just be honest here, Stewart-Haas Racing really didn't have a car for the last 3 years, I'll say comfortably, to go to victory lane week in and week out. They had to earn it, and Briscoe did, and that's why he got the promotion ahead of Noah Gragson, Josh Berry, and Ryan Preece, because those 4 drivers right there, including Briscoe, are stout drivers. But Briscoe had the edge because he was able to get more out of his equipment than any other driver, and he also stayed out of trouble. Berry and Preece never really got into trouble. I'm just talking about Gragson, but you get the point, though. He's a very reputable driver and a very talented driver, so that's why he got the ride, and I believe he's going to win this Sunday. And shut up all them critics, if you will, because he actually does have a lot out there, believe it or not. So Chase Briscoe winning the Bowman Gray Stadium Clash. Already here, second place is going to be Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson is coming off a up and down 2024 season. I believe a season that left him having a sour taste in his mouth and heading into the off season, if you will. I believe things will change this year, and he will get back on track to being really competitive week in and week out, and not having no little slump here and there, like 2 or 3 weeks in a row, just not showing up at all. It's not going to happen this year. I just don't think it will, because if it does, things may change in the Hendrick Motorsports program. You may see teams being swapped around, crew chief to crew chief, pit crew to pit crew, which is the most likely thing, because I believe pit crews do play a big factor when it comes to race results, because it gets you out there higher than the other drivers, and you get to choose which lane you want to be in. And some tracks, lane choice is a big deal, because it ultimately affects how you finish. Let's look at Martinsville. If you get the outside, more than likely going to lose a position or 2. So pit crew is going to play a big factor here this season, but I believe Kyle Larson and this whole team is going to get back on track to being competitive, but we'll finish second in the Bowman Gray Stadium Clash. I got to correct myself here, so just bear with me here. It's the first week of the year for NASCAR, so there's going to be a lot of issues here. Josh Berry in the 21 car coming in 3rd place. I believe he's going to get a win this year. It's definitely going to be on a short track. He's a very talented driver, and he had a good 2024 season for the most part. The last couple of races, though, in the year kind of worried me, because he actually did kind of get flat, if you will. And I just think he'll turn it around, but that's a big hope. But we will see there. But 3rd place for Josh Berry. 4th place will be Christopher Bell. 5th place will be Tyler Reddick. And my dark horse will be Ryan Preece in the 60 car. And I believe Ryan Preece has a lot of fans growing on him, if you will, because back when Stewart-Haas Racing closed, everyone thought that Gragson, Briscoe, and Berry were automatic bids to getting a cup ride in 25, and Preece was an afterthought. Well, joke's on them. Preece actually got one of the greatest, if not the greatest, right out of them all. That RFK Racing, a Tier 1 Ford organization, and he's bringing a hell of a lot of sponsorship money over there. So he's obviously got something going right for him in his career, which I'm glad to see because he really hasn't had the opportunity to prove himself because JTG Dory Racing, I love that team to death. I really do. I hate that the Geschechters got out of it. Jody and Tad Geschechter. Tad Geschechter is a very down-to-earth guy. I had the privilege of meeting him multiple times. But with him leaving and his wife leaving, that team just, in my opinion, kind of lost a lot, if you will, because these are two pivotal owners, and they also had a big tie, if you will, to the Kroger brands and stuff like that. And the 47 car this year, Hayek Motorsports, is going to have a lot of financial issues, and that may play a big factor into struggling on track, and maybe we'll see. I would assume at some point the charter for that car will be up for sale, and it's going to be very interesting here, but I just believe, though, that Praise Center had the chance to prove himself there. And moving over to Stewart-Haas Racing, it was a dumpster fire, and it wasn't going to work out. He definitely took a step forward in 24 compared to 23, so that's a big thumbs up, if you will. That's a positive sign. But now the greatest team of his racing career outside of Joe Gibbs' Xfinity program, he's got a good chance here to go win a race or two and make the playoffs and prove a lot of people wrong. Because at the end of the day, Ryan Preece is a really good driver. He just never had the equipment to show for it. But there you go. Chase Briscoe wins the Clash. Kyle Larson second. Josh Berry third. The fourth place driver will be Christopher Bell. Fifth place will be Tyler Reddick. And my dark horse, Ryan Preece. Don't be surprised if he wins. The track layout is very small, 200 laps, and it's going to be very chaotic from start to finish. I cannot wait. But comment down below who you got winning, because I'm very curious to know. Please like and subscribe.